morning, guys, and welcome to the show. Today we have a twofer. We're going to talk about two Kenwood XR series amplifiers. That's right, XR, which means that's extreme high-end for them. One is a 4-channel XR400.1.4 high-res audio amplifier, and the other one is its matching partner, the XR601.1 subwoofer amplifier. We wanted to show you both these amplifiers at the same time because they're like a match set. It's a set of bookends and it gives you 5 channels of amazing sound. They're also super small and, well, you know what? Let's just open them up and we'll take a look at them. The plan is to show you, talk about all the features, and then we'll head over to the dyno and we'll do a real world amp dyno. Everybody likes power, so let's start with the sub amplifier first. Inside the box, you'll find this little guy right here, which is the bass knob. Both of these amplifiers do come with bass knobs. The nice thing about this is it does come apart and it is fairly small, so you can flush this in where you like. There is an owner's manual with a bag of screws and also the extra screws for the bass knob if you are going to be taking it apart and mounting it in the dash. With the amp out of the box, we can take a closer look. This amplifier is 2 ohms stable. At 4 ohms, it'll put out 400 watts, and at that 2 ohm rating, it'll put out 600 watts. It's quite a compact amplifier. The size is 8 11/16 by 6 5/8 by just 1 3/8 inch thick. It's a tiny amplifier, as you can see from the fuses here. It's not much bigger than the fuses. On the end plate, 4-gauge battery, remote turn on, 4-gauge ground, as well as 12-gauge inputs for the speaker. It's a mono amp, but it has 4 terminals. 2 positives, 2 negatives. It's internally connected. Pick any 2 and connect your positive, your negative. Just so you're at a final 2 ohm load, that is all that matters. Anything below that, the amplifier will not be friendly with you. Bass knob goes here, RCAs. Flipping it over to the back, gain control that is adjustable between 4 volts and 0.2 volts max. Bass boost, 0 to 18 dBs of boost at 40 hertz. And a crossover that is 50 to 200 hertz. Even though you don't see it anywhere on this amplifier, it will do high level input through the RCAs, in which it'll take up to 12 volts of signal into the RCA input. You don't have to get a high level to low level adapter. It has DC offset built into it. It'll automatically sense when the signal comes in and turn the amplifier on for you, which means that this is an output now that can go turn on other amps. On the top of the amplifier, it has these 2 little Allen screws. When you remove those, it exposes this area here, which is for screwing down your speaker wire. No amplifier review would be complete without taking the back off. Let's take a look deep inside. For those of you guys that like to see that kind of stuff, here you go. Enjoy your view of the internals. Next up is the 4-channel. That same bass knob is located right here. Instruction manual, Allen keys. For those of you wondering why this is high res and the sub amplifier isn't, is that you don't need high res for subwoofer. The high res is for the high frequency. It has to do with playing up into the 40,000 hertz range, whereas this sub doesn't do that, so we don't need to have a high-res sub amp. It is identically the same size and thickness. When we look at the end, we have 2 30 amp fuses, 4-gauge power and ground input, remote turn on. Now we have input A and input B, as well as we can bridge also. This amplifier is designed to do 75 watts at 4 ohms, 100 watts at 2 ohms, and if you decide to bridge it, it's 200 watts at 4 ohms. Taking a look at the other side, this is your subwoofer volume control. The reason why it has that is you could use this as a small system amplifier. Channel A could be for a set of high frequency speakers, like a nice set of components with a passive crossover, a set of coaxials where you don't need fader control, and then channel B could be for a subwoofer, like a 10 or possibly a really efficient 12. And you could use this to power the whole system. Input selector is what allows you to do that. So if you had like a Bluetooth dongle or a phone or something like that, you have your choice of inputs A and B, or just input A to feed the whole amplifier. The gain controls from 5 to 0.2 volts max on both A and B. The crossover, this is where this gets interesting. Channel A has low pass, off, and high pass. Channel B has low pass, off, and high pass, but you also have these 2 switches here that say low, high, low, high. The reason for those is it's a 10-time multiplier switch for the crossover. If you go low, the crossover is between 50 and 200. If you go high, it's from 2.5 to 10K. And it's the same on both. This is if you want to do a full active system powered off of this. A set of tweeters on channel A and a set of mid-bass on channel B. What it will do if you picked, for example, 3200 hertz for the tweeter and you picked 80 hertz for the mid-bass, it'll make it a bandpass when you select that high feature so that the mid-range plays between 80 and 3200 on that channel. That means that there's no extra switches or anything else you have to do. Most of the time when doing a set of active components, you're crossing the top of the mid-range at the same frequency as the tweeter. They just went ahead and did it for you so you don't have any extra switches to turn on. Let's take the back off and see what it looks like inside. Looking deep into the amplifier, we can see the high performance parts. Special capacitors and inductors have been carefully selected. The digital amplifier's LC filter, which is essential for achieving high resolution audio. These high quality performance parts reduce noise and distortion to ensure excellent sound quality. And there you have it. These guys here are for filtering for your FM signal, but here is the inside. Enjoy. All that done, let's head over to the amp dyno and see what these things do in the real world. First amplifier up is the XR601-1. We're going to do a certified 4 ohm test. We have a 497. Next test is 2 ohms. Certified dyno run. 675 watts, 13.48 volts. Uncertified dyno run, 4 ohms. 505 uncertified dyno run at 2 ohms. I really thought I was gonna squeak it out in the end there, but we got 699 watts at 13.46. Dynamic burst mode, 4 ohms, 484 watts. Last test, dynamic burst into 2 ohms. 677 watts, 2 ohms. 13.48 volts. Pretty awesome little amplifier. Let's reset and we'll take a look at the 4 channel. First test, certified dyno run at 4 ohms. That yields us a 149 and a 144 coming in at 13.46 volts. Next test is the certified dyno run at 2 ohms. This powerhouse is putting out 219 and 216 watts. Uncertified dyno run at 4 ohms. 148 and 145. Uncertified 2 ohm is next. The 215 and a 213. Dynamic power burst at 4 ohms is next, and that gives us a 117 and a 122. 2 ohms is following that up with a 208 and a 221 at 13.43 volts. So with these two amplifiers stacked next to one another looking all sexy, you have a very thin, compact, you can put one underneath each seat around a firewall or wherever you need to do, 5 channels of amplification to do all kinds of fun stuff with. We hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for watching. As always, Fernando, if you please.
On to the next one, guys.
You guys have a great night as always. We'll see you later next time.
Bye.